Hi everybody, welcome to the Bible study. Today we continue with Song of Solomon. We are in chapter 3. And as we know, Song of Solomon starts with Sulamite, which is the bride of Christ and is us. And they say, let us kiss me with a kiss of his mouth, which is the breath of God. And that part, the first part, is very intense. It shows the love of Christ for us and our love for him as a bride of Christ. We covered chapter 2 last week, and now we go in chapter 3, which is pretty much a short one. And let's dive in. So we are in the first one, first verse. Now we are from the time when the bride Sulamite, she turned down Jesus' offer to go with him. And out of fear, out of busyness, out of we don't know, because sometimes I say we are human. And then when Jesus calls us for a certain to go maybe in mission, to do something for him, we just say no. And it's what it was. So she turned him down. And now, after that, look what happened. All night long on my bed, I looked for the one my heart loves. So after Jesus left, the place felt empty. Don't you feel like that sometimes when you just say God is asking for something and you say no, and after that you feel so bad, so empty, so out of place. It's what happened here. And she says, I looked for him but did not find him, because she was looking around and could not find him. And not just that, Jesus is always with us. Jesus was there, but she couldn't see him. So Jesus is more like outside her walls. He is there, but he doesn't want to show himself that he is there. He's waiting on her. Verse 2, I will get up now. So she is determined, and go about the city. Now, here city in Hebrew translation, it's not a city like you go in the city you born or where you are right now. It means local church. It could be a place of the government as well, but in here specific, because it's about Jesus and his bride, she goes to a local church and she looks from church to church for the one she loves, which is Jesus. And it happened to us. I think every one of us, you go to a church and you feel it's empty, it's missing the presence of God. And then you go to another church, you have the same thing. You don't feel the Holy Spirit, you don't feel the presence of the Lord is not in the place. You don't feel nothing, you don't sense, it's just empty. People are there, there's a service, but it's empty. And so she does go from church to church to find the loved one, Jesus. And through its streets and squares, which is pretty much it says the city here, but is about the local church. Through its street and squares, I will search for the one my heart loves. So I looked for him but did not find him. So none of those churches had Jesus in it. They did preach about Jesus, but she didn't find them in none of them, which is pretty sad, right? You look to connect with God, but God was none of those places, which is supposed to be the house of the Lord, right? Let's go next. Now, the watchmen found me as they made their rounds in the city. So watchmen are those people, and like in old time, the watchman was on the wall, like I have that picture over there, and they will tell the city, they will make aware the city that enemies are coming by. They are in danger. Something is either fire, water, people like enemies coming with the swords, with anything. They will announce in the city that there is danger coming. So she say, the Shulamite, which is us, the watchman is more than one, found me as they made their rounds in the city. So around the churches, there are people that they're watching for. You make sure that everybody is safe, everybody is good. Maybe they do some, prayer time and all that. They're watchmen, they're watching. It's how it is in the church. Maybe there are intercessors as well, so they intercede for the people in prayer. There are people that are just for the goodness, for good of the churches. They are looking for the good. It's pretty much as a watchman there. Pretty much every church has one, at least one, to make the church aware. Hey, there is dangers. There's that. We shouldn't do that. We should do this. It could be a prophet. So the watchman found the bride, which is us, as they made the rounds in the city. So they found her. And then she asked them, have you seen the one my heart loves? So she goes from the church to church. And one point, she finds the watchman and she's asking, these are pretty much for our protection, to protect the church, to protect us. And she's asking if they found Jesus. They found the, and says, have you seen the one my heart loves? And verse 4, scarcely had I passed them when I found the one my heart loves. Scarcely had I passed them when I found the one my heart loves. As soon as she passed them, she asked them, where's my, my beloved? Where's my beloved? Where's Jesus? Have you found him? As soon as she passed them, went by them and passed them, guess what? She found Jesus. I held him and would not let him go. But it's more in the translation, in Hebrew translation is, I hugged him and sank down into his arms. Sank down into his arms. It's how much the love of the bride has for Jesus. I hugged him and sank down in his arms till I had brought him to my mother's house, which the translation is the temple of the Lord God Almighty. Remember that in the first chapter we had the temple, the veil, when Jesus goes there. And till I had brought him to the mother's house, which is the temple, to the room of the one who conceived me. Verse 5, daughters of Jerusalem, I charge you by the gazelles, which is deers, and by the does of the field, doers of the field, do not arouse or wake love until it so desires. So she found Jesus. She is very happy and tells everybody that pretty much the love for Jesus is intense. Next, so we are on verse, I believe it's 5 or 6 here. Who is this coming up from the wilderness, like a column of smoke, perfumed with myrrh? And now we know myrrh is a sacred and anointed oil. Suffering and death of Christ is what signifies myrrh, because they embalmed the dead person. In that time, they used to do that after they die. And Jesus had the same ceremony, the same thing, embalm his body with myrrh. And then when somebody smells like that, it's like it reminds you in this. It reminds us that Jesus coming from the wilderness like a column of smoke perfumed with myrrh, like it tells like this cannot be anybody but Jesus. He's suffering and death of Christ, and also frankincense, which is the fragrance of his perfect life and ministry that he had on this earth, and incense made from all the spices of the merchant. Their incense, their praises of the bride goes up to heaven, like people praying, we are the bride of Christ. And incense made from all the spices. There are lots of spices over there, and imagine all this incense, but your prayer is like a smell of incense, spices going up to heaven. Now, I put as carriage because it says in verses, look, it's Solomon's carriage. But Solomon's in the Song of Solomon, Solomon and Sulamite, so both of them, they derive from one word. One is feminine and one is masculine, but they both derive from Solomon's name. And it confirmed that it's about Jesus. Now, it says that, so it tells us that Jesus is coming with escorted by 6 warriors. And he does come. I didn't find the carriage. I found this beautiful carriage more like a royal carriage. I couldn't find the 60 warriors in there, but we're just imagine that Jesus is coming in the carriage, and could be the carriage of fire. It may not look like this one, but I try to just emphasize that is a royal one, because Jesus is royal, and escorted by 60 warriors, the nobles of Israel, like warriors. Now, in describing the warriors, that they come to help the bride of Christ, us, all of them wearing the sword, all experienced in battle, each with his sword at his side, prepare for the terrors of the night. This is very significant because it tells you that Jesus did not come by himself. He brought this time 60 warriors that they're trained for battle for the worst. So for the worst one, when it's prepared for, they have the sword with them and prepare for the terrors of the night. So Jesus comes to protect the bride at this point and protect them from the terrors of the night. He comes with everything he needs. I say, even the warriors. Wow, that tells you a lot. So over the night, he comes with this. But it says nobles, which are like nobles, like in the high rank. I would say like officers in the high rank, in the rank of I would say like it's just a king, prince, and so forth. They are nobles. They are somewhere in the high rank. Wow, it's just thinking about that, how much protection we get, and how Jesus has for us. Now this is, let's go back what I mentioned on chapter first. This is our walk with Jesus. It tells you how we supposed to, like, there are stages and stages, and at one point we came to Jesus, then another point calls us, we turn him down. Now he comes back and comes with help to help us, and that will not be hurt over the night, because he knows their thirst for the night. Let's move on. Then we are in verse 9. King Solomon made for himself the carriage. he had made it of wood from Lebanon. Now he does mention of the carriages made of Lebanon. Its post he made of silver, its base of gold, its seat was upholstered with purple, its interior inlaid with love, and it describes a little bit the carriage that Solomon had, but also what expectation, that's why I tried to post that one, the previous picture, that is like a royal carriage. And purple is royal. Daughter of Jerusalem, come out and look, you daughters of Zion. Look on King Solomon wearing a crown, the crown with which his mother crowned him on the day of his wedding, the day his heart rejoiced. And this is mentioned also, that is the crown of Jesus that he's wearing, and at the time of wedding with the bride, the bride of the Christ bride, which is us. Oh yeah, this was a short one, and I just want to be more and more, and well, this is pretty much, it's getting more intense and more intense. We just finished chapter 3, but there are several more coming up, and we'll see how the bride grows on time, and what happened to the bride, and how Jesus is protecting the bride. And we should not, then we have like terrors, and in Psalm 91 it says we should not fear about the terrors for the night and the arrows that flies by day. Why? Because God is always with us. We should trust him in everything, in all the ways, in anything we have. We should trust him. And as a bride of Christ, we are protected. All right. Well, I hope you enjoy, and I hope you watch the previous two. And I'm looking forward to make the other ones. It may take some time because I'm doing from a Hebrew translation. But till next time, I say goodbye. Goodbye now.